Peace, peace. I was working on something new tonight, so I'm gonna try something. So let me mute up for a second and try to kick this off.
Peace, peace. I was thinking about when I was going through the apprenticeship, right? Now, I've been in three trades before, so you always got to start from somewhere, man. You know what I mean? I don't know too many people who were born knowing how to walk or talk. You know what I'm saying? So I was in the Navy for 6 years. I was a steam propulsion mechanic on the last boat that got decommed in, what is that, '04. And I learned a lot at that time. And at that time, I came in as an E1. That's basically, what they would call a recruit. E2 is a fireman apprentice because I was in engineering. So everything that gets listed under engineering is a fireman, right? You have firemen, airmen, seamen. And then, got to E3. That's basically what they would call a fireman. And then because since I was a machinist mate, in the what's called M division, I took the exam to become an E4 petty officer, third class petty officer, machinist mate, right? So, you learn first of all how to get acquainted in the military. You develop habits because they teach you in boot camp. Like say how to make your bed, how to fold your clothes, how to get the most out of folding your clothes so they can fit in the fucking sea bag. And if anybody's carried a sea bag, you can fit a lot of stuff in there, man. I'm just kind of rambling a little bit. Because I don't really get to talk to people a lot as far as, on some shit like this, except for my regular folks. You know what I'm saying? People who have been through it, people that I'm going through, that I went through this apprenticeship with. But anyways, I do ramble a lot because I talk to myself. I talk to myself finding, just having conversations, and then I'll be fucking dead on with some shit, right? And then I'll lose it. I'm like, damn, what happened? Okay, how do I get back to that? So sometimes I just like recording myself talk, go into a conversation with myself. Is that crazy? Who knows? But I know a lot of people who have, audio journals. Some people used to write in journals, for your book of life, and you could record yourself through your blog of life, right? So, and going from E1 to E4, you're looking at different layers of information. The tools you need to understand, the tasks that you have to do from everyday life at work, because believe it or not, you have jobs on a boat. The boat's just a big ass city that floats on water. So as a machinist mate, man, you have to learn all your boiler, everything about boilers, everything about main suction pumps, everything about journal bearings. And if you've ever ridden, let's say a 10 speed or some type of mountain bike, a 12 speed, you have those gears, right? And that shit is hard to learn, man, because you learn the ratios, which is kind of fun, actually, on some nerdy type shit, but it's kind of cool. So, you learn the tools. Then you start to use that tool between your two shoulders. So, when you go out, you start looking at stuff, analyzing shit. Some people will just go ahead and they'll just look at shit and let it go because it really didn't affect them in any way. But then when you stop and look or think about it later on, you might be like, yo, that was kind of cool. So, I was just thinking about the information that's given in life, and then the information that you get, what you do with that information. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you build and start building the foundation. You know what I'm saying? You might, like, sometimes people will say I'm a negative person. Yo, Nu, you sound very optimistic or pessimistic or whatever. I'm like, I'm not really pessimistic or anti-social. I'm just anti-bullshit. So when you start to move forward in life, man, you're going to start leaving people behind, dog, after a minute. You know what I'm saying? If somebody ain't on your level, you try to either put them on your level because you're somewhere. You know what I'm saying? If they don't accept that shit, I mean, yo, you just gonna get left behind, dog, and I just can't help you out like that in that manner. You know what I mean? So I'm just looking at stuff as, you know, even though I claim the manosphere, people may not say that I'm manosphere. And I'm like, that's cool, but everything that I'm actually saying is fucking manosphere in a raw form, man. You know what I'm saying? Like destroying negativity is about moving forward, right? At least in my head it is. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't have it and I don't see it. They say that they giving you some type of game, they giving you all this and all that, man. But I'll be honest, I don't really hear the shit. I hear the shit as far as having things in in the remembrance of, you know, how shit used to be and nostalgia. And that's cool. Like I'm a Gen X kid, man. So there's a lot of things that I remember, you know, growing up, of having shit, not having shit. Like I never had games, dog. I never had consoles. You know what I'm saying? Gaming consoles. I think I had like a Nintendo type shit, but I was never into that. I was into bikes and skateboards and shit like that. I was into drawing because that was really my first passion was drawing, but I always knew I was good with my hands too. So in being good with my hands, you know what I'm saying, on a mechanical side, I could fucking just take apart some stuff, you know, try to figure out why this works. And that is actually the game of life, right? Trying to figure out why this works. You know what I'm saying? And that can lead you to a nice rabbit hole, you know what I'm saying, in certain ways. But knowing the ledge and to not fall off the ledge, meaning you going so deep where you lose yourself, right? Because in yourself, you want to learn how to master the mind, master your equality. You want to learn how to understand, you know, certain things in life. So first you have to listen to people. You know what I'm saying? Like what I was trying to do the live, I hated the audio anyway, but when I was trying to do the live on stop giving the benefit of the doubt without the benefit, I'm like, yo, I've been saying that shit for years, like before YouTube. But anybody who personally knows me knows that's what I've been saying, right? As a matter of fact, way back in the days, man, there's this kid, and I think some people might know his name. His name is Cecil. I said that to him in a chat, and he wasn't joking when he said he wrote it on a whiteboard. You know, the old school whiteboard with the erasable Sharpie type of thing. You know, the erasable marker. And I was like, you know, you have to think about it like that. Some people, they can't take that. They don't know how to decipher that. Because there is some nuance in that type of shit. But that is part of the destroying negativity. You know what I'm saying? To build upon a positive, you know, self. Because you always want to, look, man, some people like the lies. Some people don't. You know, but you are willing to live in a lie for yourself to be happy. And I'd rather just know the truth above all. You know what I'm saying? Because, yes, the truth shall set you free. You know what I'm saying? And in so many words. So I'm looking at it as, you know, when you're here around certain spaces, and the space could be, and I'm not talking about online. I'm also talking about in the real world. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people from the real world bring their shit online because they could get away with being somebody they ain't. And that's a poser. So when you start to really sit back and just observe people, you know what I'm saying? That's one thing I'm always good at, man. I'm always good at reading the room quick. I'm always good at looking at people and just, yeah, I'm not feeling this cat. You know what I'm saying? And you can call it judgment. I hope you call it judgment because that's what we do as human beings, man. We're always going to judge some shit. You know what I'm saying? You can go into a restaurant and look at a menu with pictures on it. You know what I'm saying? If it don't have no pictures, you're going to be wondering how this looks on a plate. You know what I'm saying? When it's all cooked and plated for you by the chef, right? And they bring it out to your table. You know what I mean? If you got a nice tomahawk steak, you know what I'm saying? Maybe some mashed potatoes or something, some good looking asparagus, and they might do a little hollandaise sauce for you or something like that. Then they serve it on a trash can. You know, they serve that shit on a trash can lid. What are you gonna think about that one? You're gonna judge it, right? Yo, what if they served you a pile of dog shit on a nice plate and say, yo, this is just cake, bro? You gonna look at that shit and be like, that looks like shit. Because usually if it looks like shit and smells like shit, it is shit. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I was talking about earlier in certain chats, you know, about people saying that they're giving discernment. You really can't give discernment. You have to learn discernment, because you have to learn, you know, when you go through things and think about how you're going to get out of it, because most of the time you put yourself in that situation and not everybody can really help you in that situation. And if you try to get out of that situation, you know, making a dumb move, guess where that puts you? You know what I'm saying? You're trying to make, you know, 3 steps better, and it's putting you 4 steps backwards. And that's negative. You know what I'm saying? Look on a graph, you know what I'm saying, of geometry or whatever, you know, that's just, you're just going backwards, yo. You don't want to be in the negative, you want to be in a positive. You know what I'm saying? You want to align yourself, you know, with particularly positive people. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, great minds think alike, and sometimes, you know, you might have people that will remind you of what not to be and what not to do. And I think that's part of people's problems, man. They're aligning themselves with people who they say speak for them. And it's like, yo, dog, you got a fucking Google account. You can make a channel yourself and talk about whatever you want to talk about, man. People are talking about, oh, they speaking for you. You're not speaking for me, man. Nobody speaks for me. I speak for myself and myself only. You know what I'm saying? If I could help somebody in a situation to a certain degree, I could just tell you, yo, I've been through this situation. This is what I did. But because we don't have the same eyes or brain, we may wear the same, you know what I'm saying, shoe size, but you're not going to really be able to walk in my shoes because you don't live where I live and you haven't been where I've been for the most part. You know, even if you have, in those certain situations, you're going to see things different anyway. So all I can do is just give you, you know what I'm saying, my understanding of those situations. You know what I mean? I kind of get tired of people saying that type of shit where, yeah, they're speaking for you, man. We have a place that we can go to and do all this crap. But on a really real, dog, if you're still here trying to search for answers after so many years, I think you need to just get off and go explore the world, man, and do what you gotta do. Start telling people no, start telling people fuck you, because, you know, personally, that's what I've done a lot of my life, man. You know what I mean? And if it's burn the bridge, it's burn the bridge. You know what I'm saying? That bridge might come back. Sometimes it don't, but I've noticed a lot of times it do. And then you can come together with somebody and squash the shit, and you can kind of have a little start over, right? I've had that happen in my life, and it works. And then, you know, when it don't, oh well, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't sweat off my balls. But yeah, I just noticed that a lot, man. People want to entertain. They want entertainment. And once you start wanting entertainment, man, you're not really looking for answers. So you know, I heard a lot that, you know, oh, we do this for pushback. We do this because they've been talking shit about us all these years. And it's like, yo, hold on. Do you fit the glove or don't you fit the fucking glove, bro? I'm just, it's a serious question. Do you fit the glove or don't you? Because a lot of times, bro, I'm going to tell you, man, these gloves don't fit me, dog. If it's a female that's holding you back from living life, then you, sir, are completely lost. You haven't learned anything in life. You haven't learned how to move right. You haven't learned how to do anything right. And people have probably enabled you all your life to be stupid. The tool that you need to move forward is on your shoulders. That's the tool. You know, I got a lot of tools to help me do a job, man. You know what I mean? But the tool that I need to really understand the task at hand and to use those tools and to know which tools to use is on my shoulders.
All right, my bad, y'all. I had a phone call. So, just, trying to see everything. You know what I mean? About forward movement, about gathering. When you start to gather things in your lifetime, that is the wisdom that you need to go through life, from life to death, right? You got 3 positions in life. You know what I'm saying? The born, the walk, the living it out. You know what I'm saying? The walk and living it out is the same thing. And then you have the understanding of those things that you walk through, so you consider the parts in between life and death, you know what I'm saying, a hurdle, right? And some of those hurdles will make you stronger, you know what I'm saying, depending on your mindset. Some of those hurdles will also make you weaker because you don't get over it. You don't get over the hurdles, or you don't get up from a hurdle. You know what I mean? Like, I used to watch the Olympics and track, because back in about 5th or 6th grade, I used to be in the track and field. Right? I was a runner, I was a sprinter. You know what I'm saying? I can't do long distance running like that, you know what I'm saying, unless I had to, you know what I'm saying? Because I got flat feet. Feet as flat as a pancake, yo. But that's something that's a hurdle that I'll never be able to overcome. You know what I'm saying? No matter how many lifts I put in my shoes, as far as, trying to put an arch in my foot, it's just not natural. So it hurts. So I had to learn how to do something different. You know what I'm saying? I had to adjust. And that's what you gotta do in life a lot of times, man. You gotta learn how to adjust. You know what I'm saying? And people who have made it somewhere, they have learned how to adjust. And that's what life is about, right? It's about adjusting to things. You know what I'm saying? Having the freedom to do things within a system that you really have no control of. So you can only really adjust to those things by either going around, you know what I mean, or what I would say, like going left or right or straight, right? Those are the 3 choices that you have when you see things that could potentially, devastate your mentality or a way of life, right? Like, I don't eat pork. I haven't ate pork probably since '09, and then I slipped up and ate some pork. So that was a hurdle in my life, because my body told me, yo, you can't eat this fucking swine, G. You know what I'm saying? You had supposed to been changing your diet, man, and you fucked up. My body told me that shit. I fucked up. You know what I mean? My gut had me on a think tank. It literally, I'm sitting there thinking, you know what I'm saying, but trying to push this fucking nasty animal out of my guts, man. It was just like, yo, you cannot go back, dog. You can't go back. So there's things that you come across in life where it's like, yo, I have a choice to do this and I have a choice to do that. But the choice to do that will put me back in a space that I was trying to go forward in. You know what I mean? So I don't see how people stay stuck. You know what I'm saying? When you stay stuck, that's just ice, coming from the word justice, which a lot of you guys would call karma. I don't really believe in karma because that's basically putting everything on a person. You know what I'm saying? Saying like, okay, you point one finger forward, you get three back, right? But let's say you live the healthiest of a lifestyle, right? And you didn't smoke, you didn't do drugs, you didn't drink, and then you get lung cancer. Is that karma? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that? Is that karma? No, it's not karma. You know what I'm saying? What you guys would call karma, you know, it will look like reap what you sow. And sometimes you gotta sow what you reap. You know what I'm saying? There's justice and then there's just ice. You know what I mean? Like what you do put out there, man, will come back to affect you in one way or another. You know what I mean? So once you start finding out things that are going on in your life that don't make sense, man, what you gotta do with that? You gotta get rid of it. Getting rid of things in your life, man, will start to show positivity, man, and people gonna hate you for that type of shit, right? Like when I left LA, you know what I'm saying, moved out to Vegas, I ain't see part of my family, man, that was on basically like the negative tip. You know what I mean? And I never, you know, to a sense, I never looked back, you know? And once you start looking back, you're gonna put yourself in a rut and be like, yo, I gotta help these people. But then you also have to remember that those people didn't help themselves. You know, I was a young kid, and those people didn't help themselves. And now I'm 48 years old, and I'm looking back like, these motherfuckers still ain't helping themselves, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I showed you the water. I showed you the water. You know what I'm saying? I said, yo, the water's over here, dog. You follow me. Yeah, you follow me there, but you ain't want to drink it. I can't force you to drink the water, dog. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be up to you. And I'm not going to give you no dirty fucking water. You know what I'm saying? And like I said before, I was a machinist mate in the Navy. So part of my task was knowing a 5-stage potable water maker. You know what I'm saying? You have to sit there, you have to watch each stage of it. You can see through all the glass hatches of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm basically converting seawater to potable drinking water, man. You know what I mean? And if you get any type of dirt in there, boom, that fucking alarm's gonna go off, man. That big ass spring trip valve is gonna trip. Next thing you know, they're gonna call me at the throttle board and say, yo, what happened? You know, some people get sleepy because as a machinist mate, man, you know, on the when you're out to sea a lot, we have what's called a Cinderella schedule. You know what I'm saying? First one's on, last one's off. We do a rotating shift of 6 hours on, 6 hours off, and that shit is tiring. In the midst of doing 6 hours on, 6 hours off, you also have to do, you know, all your jobs, man, depending on what level you're in the engine room. You know what I'm saying? We call it a pit. You know what I'm saying? I'm what's known as a pit snipe, the underrulers of the world. And there's different machinist mates out there, but you know, the shit is fun. And I'm pretty sure Baby Fantastic, you know, Mr. Fantastic or Baby Grinch or Sister George, you know, knows what that is, know what the MM's, you know, job entails. We the dirtiest, oiliest motherfuckers on the boat, basically, in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? And, you know, if I had went back to being lazy on something, man, not fulfilling my duties, man, I could kill a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just looking at things as like, I'm not trying to steer anybody wrong. I would never do that. I would never do that. You know what I'm saying? And if I did, it was my ignorance, my ignorance of not being complete, and that's the goal from life to death. And in the middle of that shit is being complete. Because when you look at, people using the word wisdom, okay, so where does the knowledge come from? Where does the knowledge come from? Number one. Where does the understanding come from? Number two. Number three, the wisdom is the bridge between knowledge and understanding. You know what I'm saying? Which is freedom, like I said before, as far as being free in a system that you can't control, because really you can only control what's in your circle of control. You know what I'm saying? And once you add on to that, you add in a cipher to that knowledge. You know what I mean? And what you have to look at is what did I learn during that time? Because as a journeyman inside wireman, that is the name of a union electrician, is a journeyman inside wireman, right? We had, to go through things as an apprentice, slight hazing, motherfuckers bitching at you, kind of a gopher at times. Well, a lot of times you're a gopher, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? But in that aspect of being a gopher, you're going to learn the tools, you know what I'm saying, what they use for what your task is at hand, because every task is another layer of knowledge, right? And in that layer of knowledge, you're going to have to apply wisdom for you to gain an understanding of that type of shit. Otherwise, you know what I'm saying? If you can't read prints, bro, you're not going to be able to do the job. So the blueprints is telling you what to do, and your job is to decipher, what these blueprints mean. You know what I'm saying? You go on the first page of the prints, they got what? They got the legend, the details. You know what I'm saying? They're telling you what to use, where to go, and what you have to do is plan the work and then work the plan. And, in the midst of that, there's going to be some things that go wrong because somebody else could have fucked up, or you could have fucked up and missed something. And I always say, if you don't know something, don't be afraid to ask, because a lot of motherfuckers, man, will get themselves in trouble and get you in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to fake it till they make it. And if you're faking it till you make it, you just another fucking poser, man. That is not a good journeyman. You know what I'm saying? And being a journeyman, when you look up the root word of the journey, the journeyman was an apprentice that studied under a master, really for no money. You know what I'm saying? He got the skills and the learning capabilities from the master, right? 3 years he was under that guy. He didn't earn no money, man. You know what I'm saying? After the 3 years of his apprenticeship, what he did was he moved around the world getting jobs for 3 to 5 years to become a master at his craft, right? And then when I was looking at, I often think a lot about people saying that, oh, a jack of all trades, but a master of nothing. But here's the thing, that jack has to learn all trades. That means he has to actually have some degree of knowledge, or all degrees of knowledge in a trade to be a jack of all trades. I do know a lot of masters of the craft that I'm in, you know what I'm saying? But in that craft, there's so much to learn. Some of these guys are good at one thing, and that one thing leads them to just being on a job site doing the same shit over and over and over and over again. My thought process is and always will be, give me something to do for 6 months if I don't know it, and then after that 6 months, once I start getting tired of it, I want to move on to something else. That way, so I can bring everything together. You know what I'm saying? When you learn how to do underground work, because everything starts with the foundation, right? So you have the underground work, You know what I'm saying? Then you have, which consists of all your pipe work. And then you're gonna run into, pulling the wire to where everything goes. You're gonna learn how to build out rooms. You know what I'm saying? Put all your electrical gear in. Your switch gear, your automatic transfer switches, your transformers, maybe some harmonic transformers and rectifiers, depending on where you are, right? But the basis, or the basic part about it is learning all that you can, so that if somebody needs you to go do something, say some service call or something, you'll know all that, not just stuck bending conduit or roping a room or doing some shit like that. So that's where your mind's got to be intact, man. You got to put your thinking cap on. You know what I'm saying? So when you go back to, the hurdles, man, those hurdles are actually not asking questions. Those are the hurdles. The hurdles are faking it till you make it. And people who are actually good at their job notice a poser. You know what I'm saying? Which is being something you're not. Like, you go through the apprenticeship, man, or anything you do in life. I'm just relating to what I do in work. You know what I'm saying? As far as the trade goes, because it covers the basics, you know what I'm saying, to mastering something, right? I'm not really a proponent of jack of all trades, master of nothing. You know what I mean? Like, my trade is deep. You know what I'm saying? Like in Vegas, we build a lot of hotels. So you have to look at what does that entail? Okay, roping rooms, running some data, putting up video monitors, screens, putting in restaurants and kitchens. And I'll say this a lot too, like electricians don't really like building out kitchens. Kitchens can be really fucked up, man, because it's a lot of power, it's a lot of this, it's a lot of that, a lot of details that you got to go through. You know what I'm saying? But if I start going to the Midwest, or let's say I go to before the Midwest, let's say I go to, let's say, Cali and work, right? They got airports, they got data centers. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those places, when I go to the Midwest now, they got, car plants, airports. That's where you have to run a lot of rigid. And rigid is a bitch, man, because this is where the math starts coming in. The math, right? This is the shit that you learn. You know how when you was a kid, some people say, oh, you ain't gonna never use this, you ain't gonna never use that. But we learn trig and geometry. You know what I'm saying? We learn all that shit, how to use angles, man. That's one thing I love to do, is use angles. You know what I'm saying? To find bends that I need, So if anybody understands trig, the same SOHCAHTOA. You know what I'm saying? Your tangent and all that type of stuff. And it's just boggling my mind how some people can do it by hand. I was trying to learn how to do that shit by hand too. You know what I mean? And it gets kind of easy, so you can use a degree, what you call a multiplier for your bends, or you can actually sit there and figure it out. And in rigid, you have to know it all, man. You have to know your outside diameter of this conduit. You have to know your shrink, your gain. You have to literally sit there and plan that work and work that plan, because there is no just cutting some pipe and putting that shit together on a rigid pipe. You know what I'm saying? Maybe on some EMT or something like that, you could just cut it, you know what I mean, put a coupling on it and then just keep going. But you want your wall, or whatever you're running, man, when you're running those racks to look beautiful, right? Like artwork. You know what I'm saying? And I've been a part of that a lot of times. When you go on the East Coast, I'm not really sure what they do a lot, because I don't know a lot of drainage from the East Coast, right? But what you're gonna learn and all that stuff is, man, it's actually how to be patient. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be patient with people, and you gotta first be patient with yourself, because that is a part of learning. You know what I'm saying? Having patience and knowing oneself is a part of learning in life. And I know I like to say that I'm always right, even when I was wrong. I could have been right, so I'm always right. But I'm humble enough to understand that, yeah, you was wrong in this. You know what I'm saying? But I would rather have stood on my being right, man, and it's just a little bit where it didn't fuck nobody up to be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can't give out information, or if I don't have the information, say I'm working with an apprentice or whatever, you know what I'm saying? He's my cub. You know what I'm saying? I'm the bear daddy, and I gotta teach him. I gotta teach him, and a lot of times, as an apprentice, or if you're tooled up with somebody, we call them a toolie or tool partner, right? That's your working journeyman partner. You're gonna learn from their mistakes and vice versa, and that's what you're gonna learn as an apprentice. So, when you're sitting here listening to a lot of things being said around here, like, yo, that's not the end all to be all, man. You know what I mean? You gotta learn how to take what they're saying and then go do your own thing and apply that type of thing to get an understanding. You know what I mean? And that's the the positive equality, always correcting errors, is when you keep building and building and building. You know what I mean? And you have to learn how to give that to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to learn how to have balance as a journeyman. Sometimes you can't teach the guy everything right now because you may not have time, but you're gonna have to learn that balance, dog, of teaching somebody and taking it slow, but only if you deem them wanting to learn this shit. Because I met a lot of people who don't want to learn. They just want to sit there and collect the big bank. You know what I'm saying? We make really good money. So if you're not in it to win it, you can kill yourself or kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be big on safety, right? You always have safety walking around a job, but you also got to be safe at home. So even when you think of safety, dog, you still going into the number one thing of knowledge, right? Because that's the foundation. If you have a baby, you baby-proof the house. Damn, my bad. Got another phone call. But anyways, kind of lost my train of thought. But I was just saying, like, in the midst of everything in life, man, you gotta learn how to be tactful, right? And a lot of that applies to just listening to people talk, man. You know what I mean? And it's funny to just listen to people talk. Like, I'm pretty confident in knowing when I'm saying something is truthful. You know what I'm saying? And showing and proving that. You know what I'm saying? Some people just like to talk. Don't let people sell you bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Don't let people sell you bullshit, man, because that is something that they have mastered, and they love using words like wisdom. You know what I mean? When I just call bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And that goes for whoever thinks I'm talking about them. You know what I'm saying? You probably it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just talking in general. You know what I mean? So I just kind of wanted to say that, man, and just a little thought for food. You know what I'm saying? I like saying thought for food, but you say whatever you want. So I'm gonna end it there. Peace. Yo, God, you know about the sine, cosine, and tangent, huh? Yeah, we use that every day, man. You know what I'm saying? To bend our conduit. You know what I'm saying? But, we got the scientific calculator, and we got doing it by hand. Usually we use the angles, and we have multipliers associated with those angles, so keep the angles. How did that sound to you guys, by the way, man? Let me get a little answer. How did that sound? Because I tried something new. You know what I mean? Yo, God, you know what? Do you know what I did? So when I went live last time, right? I don't know if you had showed up, but my audio was getting fucked up. But really, I could have, fought through the audio bullshit, right? Because I don't like sitting at my dining room table and just talking. I gotta, not necessarily have a drink, but I gotta actually, get up and walk around, let the blood flow, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't write shit down. I just come off the top, right? So, like I said earlier, man, I like to like talk a lot, and I'll have conversations with myself. You know what I mean? Sometimes they'll start going left, and I gotta bring them back, or then I'll get interrupted by whatever, and then I forget where I was. So I figured, I'll just start recording me just rambling, and hopefully some jewels will come out of that shit. Like today, you know what I'm saying? Knowledge build or destroy, all being born or born. You know what I mean? So I was just talking about certain things that will coincide with today's mathematics. You know what I'm saying? And so then I just recorded that shit and put the little thumbnail behind it and played some music behind it. So the whole time, whatever y'all was hearing, I wasn't even talking. Yo, that's my shit, man. Anybody steal that shit, you owe me money. You owe me money, niggas. Don't steal my shit. You know what I'm saying? Coin that, put a flag around that motherfucker, right? But yeah, that's what I pretty much did today, man. I think the next time I'm going to probably drop this link. You know what I'm saying? If anybody want to like come up or whatever. So my whole thing is with this software that I'm using, it doesn't allow you to turn off the camera. You know what I mean? So you have to either cover your camera up, you know what I'm saying? Or if I already know what you look like, if you want to be on camera, cool. If not, you just stay in the back, and I won't actually put you up on the screen so the people on YouTube don't see you. But that's some scared motherfuckers, I guess. I don't know. You know what I mean? Let me try to find it, dog. Hold on. I think it might be shit. Hold on, son. Hold on. I appreciate that, yo. I don't spend this money either. I don't really ask for it. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I don't sell shit. You don't sell mathematics. You know what I'm saying? If you want the knowledge, you can come. If not, you can go. If you want to stay and listen, then listen. If not, it's your decision. So it really doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't sell this shit, and all the equipment I have did not come from Cash App. Some of it did. Actually all of it did, because I've never really received anything for this. You know what I'm saying? Probably $100, but I gave that money back when Zero did a stream, and then he had a microphone giveaway, so I gave that to him, and then Smooth actually won the mic. You know what I'm saying? And when Smooth does go live, he sounds good on the mic, yo. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate the Cash App, and then I also appreciate people for stopping through. I don't do the whole entertainment thing as far as everybody else does. I'm not gonna sit here and have man. I think I could have a 3-hour live. I think I could talk for a while, but I'm not really here to entertain. I don't do reaction videos. I ain't doing that shit. That's not what I'm about. I'm about giving my equality, you know what I'm saying, straight from the top. So I appreciate that, man. And it's about my time, yo. It's 9:51. Peace.